Hi, Kevin. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. So thank you so much for your time. I absolutely loved Mermaid, so I'm very excited to chat with you.
I'm
Um,
glad you liked it.
so it's my understanding that this was a pretty quick turnaround for you from when you
Yeah.
got the role to when you filmed it. How quick was that turnaround, and what was it about Mermaid that made you say yes to doing it?
It was a day.
Oh,
So
wow.
they had lost the actor who had the role, and they were on their last day of shooting. And I got a call from Tyler Cormack, and he asked me if I was interested in doing this and reading the scene, and if I could get to Tampa the next day. So I read it, and I thought it was just really devious and kind of brilliant monologue. And yeah, so I just flew down and shot the next day, and that was it. It was fun. It was a really great crew and the cast and everything, and everybody was so relieved that they were actually gonna finish the film. So um, yeah, so it's an interesting little movie.
For sure, for sure.
Kind of hard to label.
And what was your reaction to seeing the mermaids for the first time?
It was pretty stunning. I mean, really incredible. The whole and it kind of it's prosthetic work, and then the whole suit costume that's not a costume. And it was the detail was just incredible. You know, that's very prosthetics are very hard, and to get that kind of quality prosthetic work, and they there was another thing. They had this big hotshot guy who was supposed to do the costume and stuff just bailed at the last minute,
Oh,
and he
wow.
called these people in, and they basically had it ready to go like before the first day of shooting. And they came up with that, and it was kind of brilliant. So he didn't even know what he was getting. So
That's insane.
yeah, but it's just kind of a tribute to him and his team, his producers and stuff, and his cinematographer, and the all the people, the production designer and the costumer. They really really excellent and talented people. I mean, it looked great. I thought
Mhm.
that I thought the cinematography was really stunning. Um, just how he did it was like, old Technicolor where everything's saturated, and it was like the beauty of the beach and the sky, and then it just turned into this, you know, dingy, creepy, you know, party hell.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I thought it was very interesting.
And what were you actually eating when you were cutting into Destiny?
Oh, it wasn't that bad. I think it was kind of a just like when you're making locks or something and you're curing it, and it gets a little tough, but I think it was tuna, so it wasn't like real, but it was, it's just the fact that you think it's the or and they did that little close up of the chewing. It was like just so horrible.
I'm glad that they kept it like fish themed.
Yeah,
It could have
yeah.
been anything.
Could have been chicken.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, your character gives this really long monologue that actually is like really profound and ties the whole movie together. And I was just wondering if there was the character mentions that he always finds his way back to Florida, and I was wondering if there's a place like that for you.
That's kind of like Florida. Well,
Yeah, kind of always something always draws you back.
it's interesting because what he's drawn back to is the whole degeneracy of it. Um, but so I don't know if there's really places that draw me back that are like uh, because it's a place where this guy can play, and he's really a twisted guy.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, when you put it that way, it's kind of like
So it's like, to say that there's places that draw me back. I mean, I still get drawn back to Chicago where I'm from because I like it, not because I could do like horrible things there. Um, you know, I've been out of LA for 5 years. I still go back. My son is down there and I like visiting. I don't miss it, but there's things about it that I remember that I really liked, you know. So, um, but I don't know. I mean, there's places, mostly like nature places. I love up in northern Michigan, the Great Lakes. That area is just like kind of breathtaking, and there's not a lot of people there. Um, and the sky is as, pretty as the water. It's just
Hmm.
like there's no light up there. There's nothing. So the sky is like, really alive. So I used to go up there and living in Chicago. We used to go up north and vacation up there. Um, so it was nice to get out of Chicago.
I love that. Nature places are always just wonderful to be in.
Yeah, yeah,
But I am glad that there's a place and there's no place that draws you for devious purposes.
yeah. I mean, New York in a way because it's so crazy. I always like going to New York, and it has its, you can get in bad trouble in New York, but it's very. Um, there's a lot I love about it, and when I was younger, I could live there. I would have loved to have lived there.
Mm.
Um, I worked a lot there, but and spent a lot of time there, but it's not sedentary. New York is just, we used to walk more in New York than I hiked, in California. Just go out and I'd walk from, the Upper East Side all the way down to Tribeca in an hour and a half and just moving. It was very kind of invigorating and fun things to look at, just architecture and people and, because everybody lives outside of their apartments unless they're very wealthy. They get out. The city is their home.
Um, what is something that you are most excited for people to see when they watch Mermaid?
To see, well, I mean, for my hope for the film, it's hard to pin it what it is. I mean, I've seen it a couple times. The second time, I was much more involved emotionally and not so much in the funny parts of it or anything. And just kind of how is this guy? He is such a sad sack. He's such a mess, and you don't know if he's going to make it. There's no clue. It's like what my character says at the end. You just don't know how it's going to end. Um, but I just think what they did on their, like for an independent film, I hope that people appreciate how beautifully it's done. I've seen movies made with much more money that don't even come close to the production values um, that this film has, from the costumes to the production design to the cinematography. And it's hard. So I think Tyler's got a great team. That his producers, I haven't met all of them, and they're just great, and they're real hands-on. They'll working. They're on the set. They're, executive producers helping grabbing something or doing something, and the crew was really, really good. I only worked with them for a day, but you could tell though, you can tell on films like with the first AD and the second if everything is, and they had gone through a lot of adversity on this film. It was hard, it was a lot of water, stuff to do that's really hard. Water stuff is hard, and I just think they pulled off really nicely, had a lot of dimension to it, and I can't brand it. I can't say it's a comedy.
Right.
I've
Yeah.
seen it's a horror film. There's horrific things in it, but I think there's a heart to the film, and it's very, and you don't know if he can win. You just think, the film can be just that the deck is too stacked, you know. At least he's got a roof over his head, but his dad's, the guy he partied with is his drug dealer and he owes him money. I mean, come on. It's
Mhm.
he's just behind the eight ball, man. And everybody around him is kind of like losers in their own right. So there's really the mermaid is really a godsend because there's really no, I mean, his wife or his, despises him. I mean, he had a one night stand with her and she got pregnant. And, it's like his daughter, he can't, there's nobody can communicate with. And so he just lives in this fog. He's just constantly escaping. And so you wish for the best for the guy, but you don't really know if he's got the tools to do it. So you kind of feel that he's not going to succeed. So it's a good, at least that's how I felt about it.
No, that's a great way to put it because I don't know how to describe it either. But
Yeah, and it's good. I think it's like I really like the fact that it's hard to explain, you know, uh, like a comedy horror film. It's not, and people go there, and I think almost everybody who goes to see it is expecting something else.
mm,
But most people that I know have saw it really like it, but they didn't know what it was going to be. They expected something totally different. So, you know.
um, unfortunately, I'm out of time, so we have to kind of cut the conversation. But it was great meeting you and getting to chat with you, and I loved Mermaid, and I'm very excited to see what you do next.
Oh, great. Thank you, Beth. It's nice talking to you.